Hi there and welcome to Reflections. Girl, please, you're looking good today. I love your maxi dress.
Thanks.
It looks really good. I tell you what, when she turned 40, she turned it up a notch. So awesome. This is my dear daughter-in-law and co-host, partner in crime, Monica Livingston. That's enough applause. Y'all can't hear it, but everybody's going crazy in here with applause. Over here to my right, two of my buddies. Introduce yourself, sweetness.
Kimberly Johnson.
Ruthie Wyvern.
And Ruthie Wyvern. These ladies, I have a feeling they're going to be off the chain today because we have a subject that they're both passionate about. Donuts. Now, one of them says people should make diabetic-friendly donuts at Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts. And she's right. And the other one cannot stand Dunkin' Donuts. And we want you to guess which one is which. Okay? America, cast your votes. They're being tallied. Just in. Let's read them. It is overwhelming that 64.298746532 said Ruthie is the one that can't stand Dunkin' Donuts. That's not true.
You're
Kim,
not
It's
wrong.
me. Yes.
And what is your problem with Dunkin' Donuts?
Once you've had Krispy Kreme, it's all over for everybody else.
Don't.
Oh, there's a saying that we like,
But-
Krispy Kreme will make you wreck your car.
Let me ask you this, Kimberly.
Dunkin' Donuts is closer. You know that, right?
I don't settle.
Oh, sometimes when you get the urge, it has to be quantity instead of quality. Then you can just run up to Dunkin' Donuts. You know, if you just, Ruthie's look like I'm crazy. Ruthie, I know back in the day when all of us were,
She was probably spoiled on Circle Donuts.
yes, Circle Donuts.
Yeah, I went to Circle Donuts a lot, but I didn't eat the donuts.
Okay.
She did better than us.
She is a robot.
I ate the chicken salad.
Much better for you than a donut. You're wondering why we're picking on donuts today or each other. Over the last week, we came across an article, and I sent it to most of the ladies, and it's about Dunkin' Donuts has this fabulous ad campaign, I thought. And they were trying it out in Thailand. A leading human rights organization said that this ad campaign, ladies, strap yourselves in, is racist. And let's look at the picture. If you can bring the picture up. Okay, now, let's just talk about this picture for a few minutes. And let's see if we can see the racism that's allegedly running rampant in this picture. Monica, I want you to stretch it out here and just think, what could it be? Real funny. What could it be?
I mean, to me it looks like they have somebody painted the color of the donut, which I don't know that I'd eat a donut that color.
Nasty looking donut.
Yeah, it just, you know. But to me, I mean, she looks more like she has, like Kimberly was saying, her daughter looks like she has an apple fritter in her head. Anybody else see it? Right there in the front.
Honest to gosh, are you okay? I can see where the racism is coming from at this table. This is a
Girl,
beautiful.
I think that's a catchphrase. They use that a lot.
Okay, you know she has this type of hair that can be swept up and piled and mounded, and you know you can make a work of art with just that hair. It's actually a retro 1950s beehive style.
Yeah.
Did you have a beehive back in the day? No. What about a beehive out in your yard? You didn't
My
have
Uncle John had beehives, but I didn't.
Okay. Well, they say it's a 1950s beehive style. Okay, can we see the picture again, please? Okay.
With an apple fritter on the front.
She's a beautiful woman. She dark as midnight. Lips pink, very in color. It matches the donut, moniker there. But someone said, and I will read it to you, that it's both bizarre and racist that Dunkin' Donuts thinks that it must color a woman's skin black and accentuate lips with bright pink lipstick to sell a chocolate donut. This is a dude from the Asia Director for Human Rights Watch. Dunkin' Donuts should immediately withdraw this ad, publicly apologize to those it offended, and ensure this never happens again. I'm just at a loss, really.
I don't see it being racist, but it doesn't make me want to eat
Bizarre,
the
yes.
donut.
No, it does not at all inspire me to eat that donut. That's a nasty.
Now, if
looking
you
donut.
had, if you just had somebody sitting there with a donut going into their mouth and this look of, on their face, yeah, it might make me want to eat that donut. Or they're dipping it in a cup of hot coffee in front of them, That doesn't do it for me, but
Oh.
The point is, what's the big fuss? I read a couple of commentaries on this, and some person said, if this picture would be put in a museum, it would be a work of art.
Yes.
You would see it, right, Ruthie?
Right.
And you would look at it, and you'd say, wow, but man, that's, wow. You would just come up with all kind of marvelous things to say about it. Since when can't we show a black woman eating a chocolate donut?
or even someone who's, to me, the person looks like they've been painted black. They don't
Right. It's
look
not
to
like
be
it's a skin color.
ethnically.
If it had been
you
a
know.
lemon donut and they painted her yellow, would they be hollering the same thing?
No,
You know.
no, not at all. Or white, green.
And I guess it's not as much of an issue in Thailand because they were talking about there was a mop company that the name of the mop company is Black Man. First of all, okay, I could see if that was in America, you would have, something going on. And they have a picture of a black gentleman with a bow tie, a tuxedo and a bow tie on.
a dapper dress.
But you know that
Man.
if that was in America, that company'd be out of business.
Right.
Just for, you're insinuating that a black man is
A servant.
a servant, and it just wouldn't happen.
There's too many people in America with nothing but time on their hands, so they have to go around looking for something to complain about.
That seems like it.
That's my opinion.
That's probably more probable than not. The thing is, a lot of black people wrote in comments to this article, and most of them were like, "I'm black. This doesn't fit me at all. This is beautiful. I'm black. This is great." And to me, the offensive part here is the human rights people being offended by it. That's our problem. It's these big organizations that are just waiting. And I guess if they don't have anything to gripe and groan about, they don't have a job, or they don't have an organization or a platform. So they have to just stretch it out. And I have 2 words for this: girl, please. Okay, Monica and I both
I think the word's catching.
said it so far. But good for Thailand not making a big deal about it. And Dunkin' Donuts said, "Hey, I'm sorry, it's a marketing campaign and it's working well for us." So good for you, Dunkin' Donuts. Don't pull it. If you do,
Stand
you're
your ground.
caving in. That's right. Stand your ground, Dunkin' Donuts.
Correct.
We're proud. Very proud of that. Okay, Monica, bring us to our next hot topic.
We talked a few shows before. I'm not exactly sure how many, about the issue of the family that had believed in faith healing, praying for their child instead of taking their child to the doctor. And they had one child die, and then another child dies, same family, and the children are removed and all of that. I had seen an article about a family that's now in trial in Washington, for murder, because their 17-year-old son his appendix burst. And, you know, rather than take him to the doctor, they believed in faith healing, and he died. And that led me, I mean, that's horrible, and I'm not trying to downplay that at all. You know, the defense does intend to call, like, members of the same family to say, hey, they had seen doctors for different things, and what have you. But this led me to another article that was about 2 churches out of Philadelphia that have had 22 children die. Now, it didn't give a time frame if this was between, you know, a few years, 10 years, you know, 20 years. But to me, that's just crazy. 22 children have died because the parents have decided that instead of trusting physicians that have gone to school and who have learned and who have been gifted in a field, have an expertise, whether they want to say it's a gift from God or, you know, whatever, they've chose to allow their children to die. And, you know, I don't have a problem praying for my children, and I don't have a problem with anybody else praying for their children. But I think when it outweighs your common sense, there's a problem. You know, if you want to choose not to go to the doctor, if you want to choose to lay there and believe that God's going to heal you and hope and pray and wait, fine, but that child doesn't have a choice. When you're its parent, you're responsible for it. Pray on the way to the hospital. Pray while the doctor's doing his work. You know, then if he gets well, you can say, thank God, it's a miracle, whatever you want to say. I don't think the doctor's going to care whether you say thank God and it's a miracle or you thank him. But help that child. What do you say, ladies? 2 churches, 2 congregations out of Philadelphia, 22 children have died.
I'm speechless. I think for 22 children to have died, and I don't care if it's in a 30-year period, you know, that's, you know, really 22 more than it should be. Now, I can understand if you take your child to the doctor and they do all they can and he dies. That's a situation that happens. You've got to at least try. And, you know, I think whenever someone's sick in your family, and I am not, I guess I am speaking for the atheist, but this isn't a fact. I believe that if somebody is sick in your family, and they're not getting any better, and you've exhausted everything you can, I believe you would cry out, beg, plead, anybody that you think is over this universe to help make them better. You know, and to me, if, you know, they may not admit to it, but if you didn't, I would say there's something, you know, I would say, well, you know, my God, wouldn't you do anything? Just, even if it sounds stupid in your head, you would just plead to let them live or let them get help. But they've got to go to the doctor.
A number of these families have had, you know, been put on probation or had their children removed and different things. But I mean, there's a serious problem here. And one of the members of the church spoke with somebody on NBC 10, Channel 10, and the guy said the church believes that people get sick because they're not doing the right thing.
Girl, please.
The children?
Yeah. So these children are so wicked and evil and wrought with sin that God's striking them with these illnesses. And so they have to pray over these children to get them well. I guess.
This makes me so
God
aggravated.
promised us that if we do his will, that there's no infection. All these diseases that you name would not come on you, the man explained.
Can they prove God said that?
Bourgeois over here with the Wyvern. Oh, wow.
And, you know, I agree with this person. They said that although you are allowed to martyr yourself, your children, you're not allowed to martyr your children.
That's right.
Absolutely.
If you want to, like I said before, if you want to take and, pray that you're going to be healed of your cancer, or pray you're going to get over, pneumonia or whatever, fine. It's your choice. You have that right. Those children were given in your care, and you're responsible for them. And if they die, you should be held accountable.
Yeah.
What about people that don't vaccinate their kids for something, catastrophic? They aren't held. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that's the same thing?
Well, I've known people that have not vaccinated their kids, but they're still, my feelings on that are that I believe that people should be vaccinated because we have these things, but then there are people that strongly believe that the vaccinations are doing as much harm to some kids, not all kids. But regardless of whether they vaccinate or not, I believe the most of those people, even though it might be based on their religion or whatever, that they would still take the child to the doctor if the child got sick with measles or something that would kill them.
Yeah, I would think that. Yeah.
And should they have done something before? I think that's where you stand on it thing. Most people that I know, or anybody that I know that doesn't vaccinate, it's not about their religion. It's more personal because of someone they know that's had issues with vaccinations or problems, and so.
True. That is true. What about you, Ruthie? What you feel?
Well, I'm not really sure because they didn't start vaccinating until my children were a little bit older, and I let them be vaccinated. But some people would go against it because there's been so many articles written by medical people that say some of the diseases we have today is caused by the vaccinations the children get. I don't know if this is true or not because I don't know that much about science and biology and this type of stuff. But I know people who have had problems from having measles and from having whooping cough. And if you can prevent your child from having these problems by giving them a shot, I don't have anything against it, but it's something that each parent has to decide. But still, you have to stop and think what you're doing to the child either way you go. So you need to look and make sure it's an educated decision and not just one on people's opinion.
Right.
That's true.
And I do believe that people sometimes, we see it with, especially weight loss things and stuff. People will be like, don't drink water with lemon in it, do drink water with lemon in it. Don't eat grapefruit, do eat grapefruit. Don't eat eggs, just eat the whites of eggs. Don't eat the yellow of eggs. Eat the whole egg. Eat eggs and it's good for you. Don't eat this, do eat that. It's so back and forth all the time, it seems like. That it's hard to feel real grounded in a decision, I think sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah.
You make a decision and you often will second guess yourself about should I have done this or shouldn't I have done that, So.
I guess where I was going with it in a way was, they're far apart, the people that don't take their kids to the doctor and those that don't vaccinate, but yet there's still a common thread that of only that, a doctor might give them something that would make them worse instead of better. I'm trying to give these parents that are making these decisions as far as the doctor, what could be going through their minds.
Well, in that one article with the one that's standing trial for murder, they were saying that the parents could have legitimately thought that it was something less serious because in WebMD there's a list of 13 conditions that have similar symptoms to the appendicitis, and they may have believed it was one of those.
And in their defense, I've had appendicitis, and if your appendix ruptures, the pain actually stops. So if they were praying and suddenly their child didn't hurt anymore, they may have thought. I think murder is too harsh. I really do. I think murder charges is ridiculous.
I don't think they planned it out or anything like that, but I do think they're definitely
But
guilty.
having,
of never
having
doing
had
manslaughter or
appendicitis, I know how much pain that is, and I cannot imagine not taking your child to a doctor if they're in that much pain.
Yeah. Well, what about the ones that have had more than one child die? I think a murder
That's
charge.
a pattern that needs to stop.
That's right. I think that would definitely qualify for murder. Honestly, you have one, and
Yeah.
then you've already been through a problem,
I mean,
a
how could you do
mistake,
that
or
as a
whatever.
parent? I mean, to me, just how could you do that? How could you literally sit there and watch one of your own children die and know that a choice you made
I don't think they'd look at it that way.
that, you know,
No.
I don't think they could.
Well,
but then to have another one, you know, die. I mean, how do you live with yourself? I mean,
Right.
you did make a choice not to take that child to the doctor. I mean, like I said, you can still pray on the way to the doctor. No one's going to stop you.
Mhm.
You can pray when you're at the hospital. You can thank God for the miracle that happened of saving your child, even though it may be the doctor that saved your child's life. But the child will be alive, hopefully, versus, you know, them dying. I don't know.
Well, there's enough proof in the world today that doctors can save children from diseases. But where do they have the proof that God said you can't take them to the doctor? So you've got proof on one hand and fiction on the other, or mythology or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
it makes you aggravated, doesn't it? It's like,
Yes.
wake up. And how come there aren't any adults falling out? Are they going to the doctor and they just don't take the kids? I mean, it's just kids dying.
Yeah.
You don't hear of any adults dying. I mean, I know kids are a little more susceptible to things and, you know, being around other children and their immune systems, yada, yada. But still, you would think there'd be at least an adult in there falling out. But I guess not. I think
Well,
they secretly go to the
You know, a question that I want to ask, you know, or pose or to think about is these people that believe that God, these infections are coming on them, these diseases and these things are happening to them based on them not being in line with God's will or them doing the wrong thing and not doing the right thing, but yet God brought it on them. Are the kids changing their behavior, or you're just through prayer hoping that the same God that smited you is going to take it away? I mean, see what I'm saying?
There's no rational way to look
Yeah.
at it.
I mean,
There's
that's
not.
just,
What could a child do that's so terrible?
Really.
You know, Ruthie, they have the sin nature. They didn't do anything yet, but they got that sin nature. That's what they say, and just to that,
Where did
I
they
say,
get
girl,
the sin
please.
nature? From the mom or the dad?
and then another article I saw had a 2-year-old, let me tell you that back. I don't know how old the child was, but as a small child has a huge tumor-like mass growing on the side of her face, covering one of her eye, and she's about to possibly lose her eyesight because they said the tumor would eat into her eye socket
Oh
and
my God.
cause her to go blind and possibly, you know, get worse and could metastasize or however you say that word, and brain, and you never know. But these are faith healing people, and so I guess one day she'll wake up and it'll be gone. I guess I don't know.
No, I don't think so. Don't think so. All right, moving on. Kimberly, do you have something that you want to share with us today?
Nope. Girl, please. I ain't got nothing.
Girl, you know I don't have anything today.
My daughter turned 7 today.
Oh, she did, didn't she?
Yeah, she's.
Does she want to make an appearance with us? We see. Yeah, cute.
baby.
Well, she got a birthday skirt on.
Yeah, that's her birthday skirt.
I love it. It's butterflies. Love is like a butterfly.
You want to turn around and wave to everybody, show them how pretty you are?
Where's Daddy? I see you on
Oh, you got like Miley
TV.
Cyrus
Miley
credit.
Cyrus thing going on. No, she don't even know who that is.
Thank God.
America thinks differently, but we know better.
No, she
I
don't.
love your new skirt.
Yeah.
Tell
Pretty,
everybody, tell everybody
sparkly.
what you're going to do for your birthday. You gonna have a summer party? No.
Oh, the shyness is
Now
attached
she's
to you.
shy.
Oh my goodness gracious. That's okay. I won't want to be 7 for all the tea in China, would you?
No, not again.
Only
No.
if I could know then what I know now.
Do things a lot different?
If there was a chance, yeah, but then you'd probably mess something up.
That's true.
Change this time continuum, the time-space continuum.
Would you like to go back to 10, Ruthie?
No, I'd hate to live through all the mistakes I've already made and start all over again and make some more. No, thank you. I'll stay where I am.
Well, okay, now you talked about losing weight earlier, and I've ordered, all of us, except for Ruthie, a tapeworm. And next week, all three of us, we're going to swallow the tapeworm, and we're going to see how well it does.
Loses weight the fastest.
Can we find tapeworms that go get toward a specific thing? Like one goes toward fat, one goes toward cholesterol, one goes toward
Yeah, we need designer
diabetic
tapeworms.
things. Yeah. Can we
Can
find
we tell
them?
us specific areas of the body we wanted to chew the fat off?
Right.
Can you believe that, folks? People are actually, even though it's illegal, somehow they're getting a hold of these things, and they're actually
Where'd you order yours from? Tell
people-
everybody so they can get some too.
hours. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna do it
Girl, I'm
myself.
not going to be taking a tapeworm.
Girl, please, come on. All right.
I'm like, you know, I was looking back and thinking back, and I had looked up different diet fads that have happened over the years. Anybody ever do the cabbage soup diet?
No.
Yeah, it was a really good
guilty.
soup. It's a really, really good soup. It was tons of vegetables in there and everything, but the problem was that's pretty much all you ate for like 3, 4, 5 days.
Yeah, it gets
and
really old.
yeah, it got old pretty quick. Made a lot of trips to the bathroom.
Oh, one or a juice.
Both. But I mean, it was a good soup, and it would be healthy for you. But I imagine if you
See you
had that
next
for
time,
lunch
girl.
every day or dinner every day, but not every meal all day long, pretty much. I mean, it was. And the tuna fish diet. Did y'all ever do the tuna fish diet? Okay, I'm the only one ever here with true confessions of the dieting dilemmas and struggles.
Fish diet, did the cabbage diet, and Atkins.
Well, the tuna fish diet was the 3 days you eat it. You had other stuff, but you had tuna fish like with every
Was it the-
meal, I think.
Was it the cabbage diet that had you eating just bananas one day? Or was it some
No, that
other
was the
strain?
banana diet. There's
Okay,
different
see,
diets. That was the
I'd
banana
die
diet.
on that one. I hate bananas, but yeah.
Yeah, I had a whole list of them. It's not here.
Oh
but
my gosh. Ruthie.
Your body needs a little bit of everything. You need a little bit of protein, you need a little bit of carbohydrates, you need a little bit of fat, you need fruit, you need grains. And if you go on a diet that takes away some of those, your body's going to start crying. That's just all there is to it. You
Yes.
need to eat some of all of it. Not too much, but some of all of it.
I think that's
the chewing. Remember? Do y'all remember that? It's where you had to chew your food like 30-something times each bite.
jeez.
Sit there and count.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, tapeworm made it on the list.
I know it. I'm
Right.
telling you, we're gonna take it next week.
The sleeping beauty diet.
What's that? I like sleeping.
That sounds like a good one.
I just can't
Sedate
sleep. I
yourself
like
for
it.
days and neglect to eat because you can't eat while you're sleeping. This will result in starvation.
Okay, I'm not quite that
But if
desperate.
your
Elvis
body-
was supposedly a proponent of this, according to this.
But
Yeah,
if
he
your
wasn't good.
body thinks you're starving, it stores up fat.
Exactly.
It doesn't
That's all
get
I've
rid
heard.
of it.
The vision diet.
No.
This was wearing glasses or something that made the food look disgusting.
This is some desperate folk.
Washing away the pounds. If you shower every day,
If you shower,
soaps that contain seaweed
What
that would
soaps that you
penetrate the
shower?
skin and break down fat.
Okay.
Well, my sister sent me a thing one time. It was one of those memes off Facebook, and it was about showering because it says, if you shower with this or something, it causes body or volume. She said that was a problem, so she wasn't going to shampoo her in the shower anymore.
oh yeah, that was cute. Yeah, yeah, that was cute. And
Ear
no.
stapling. Do you remember hearing about that years ago? I never tried that.
I saw. I
Oh my
used to live next
gosh.
door to a lady that did have her ears stapled.
Okay.
but somehow it was almost like an acupuncture type of a thing.
Well, that's what
where
I
you just touched
figured.
it, and like when you get hungry, you just rubbed on it.
Eating cotton balls.
Stop it.
Yeah, the
Oh,
cotton ball diet.
God.
Some people would soak it in gelatin first, but you could eat it dry or soak it in gelatin. The cotton balls are low in calories, but they're very filling, so you won't have anything that is fattening to eat.
Water's
They're high
filling,
in
too.
fiber.
No, and when
That's
you,
not the kind of fiber you need, people.
when your junk gets all stopped up and they have to go in there and pull it out with the forceps,
Yeah.
you'll be sorry. Folks,
You should
Oh,
see it.
there's a hallelujah diet.
tell me about that one.
Requires eating food specifically mentioned in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. These foods are all natural, vegan, and raw foods. Of course, in Genesis chapter 9, verse 3, God lifts these restrictions, but the hallelujah diet overlooks these.
That's just
Yeah,
like most
crickets
people.
and crap listed.
The caveman
Locusts
diet,
and honey.
which that is actually coming back into
Yeah, but like
the
Sister Ruth
paleo
said,
diet
yeah,
is popular now, where you basically, eat more. I mean, it's supposed to be eating more natural.
yeah, but they
plants
completely
and-
exclude grains. And like Sister Ruth said, when you start cutting out an
That's true.
entire food group, you're going to
Yeah.
have problems.
That should be a red flag to you that there's something wrong with this
Yeah.
particular diet.
But that is something I have heard lately. It's not called the caveman diet, but it's called the
The
paleo.
yeah, I've heard
So.
of that.
Americans, of course, reduces all your carbs, and that wasn't on here, but
Well, let's move on to something that makes a little bit more sense. Not what we're going to
Right.
what we're going to talk about next is earth-shattering. I would think to a lot of Pentecostals, the messages in tongues is down or are down among the Pentecostals. If y'all can believe this, what is going on is they say in the old-fashioned Pentecostal movements and everything that speaking in tongues and doing all that business is down because people don't like to stand out in a crowd nowadays. And I said, well, to me, I didn't know it was about you. I thought y'all claimed that God gave you this utterance, when you couldn't stop it or start it if you wanted to.
yeah.
So now people are too shy and they don't like to really stand out. They like to go and kind of sit back and observe, but they don't like to participate. So this tells me, which I didn't have a problem with not knowing. I mean, I did know this. It's just made up anyway.
It would lend to that
Wouldn't it?
in your mind. You would think that if they can choose not to do it, so that they don't stand out in a crowd, that it's something that they're in a lot more control over than it being something
Well,
that comes on them.
When I was younger, I was so shy the Holy Spirit would have just went right over the top of me and wouldn't even see me.
We're
I'm not
using
shy
her,
now,
she
but-
won't do it.
Oh, you might come on you. Now I didn't know this, but it says that the tongue, and maybe I was another article I was reading, but it said something about this movement of speaking in tongues in modern day time. That's scary. Thunder.
Yeah,
I think.
that's insane.
Came from an interracial tent meeting or something like that. It came out of that, and so I had no idea. I thought Acts 2:38 kind of goes back a little farther than the tent meeting,
Yeah.
but
Well, someone was probably at that tent meeting and remembered reading something about it in Acts 2:38. Bam, we got our next thing we can do at Sunday service.
so this is
Kinda like a
really
girl
Deacon
secret.
strange.
meeting,
Just needs to
some
catch
deacon
on.
planning meeting.
Yeah.
Attendance.
It says a quarter of the world's 2 billion Christians are members of the Pentecostal faith or related charismatic movements. So for the first decades, it was mainly comprised of poor white and African American worshipers influenced by that spiritual renewal, the Azusa Street revival, which took place in Los Angeles. Now, the assemblies grew with interracial services that included these speaking in tongues and prophecies and the faith healing that we were talking about earlier. And they were slain in the spirit, falling to the floor, and trying to get an encounter with the Holy Spirit. But they believed that, speaking in tongues was an unlearned human language, as the Bible talked about on the day of Pentecost. So if it's unlearned and it just comes up on you, this to me negates every bit of it. I mean, every bit of their claim that, you can just be sitting there and all of a sudden the Holy Spirit will give you this utterance that you don't know anything about. And so we're going to say poo-poo to this because we are questioning this. But if you are Pentecostal and this is not you and you want to tell us about your story, please contact us. We don't want to say that what you're experiencing isn't a real experience, but we just want to get to the root of, why you are experiencing this, and let's investigate it.
And I honestly, I've thought for years that if one person was doing it, or several people were doing it, one person started, next person started, that, how would you feel to be in that group of people? Would they be expecting you to do it? And if you didn't do it, would you feel like they're expecting you to do it, whether they've stated that they expect you to do it? Because I know that I've been, I was Catholic and then was part of the Baptist church for a while. And I know that at the Baptist church I went to, that we would have people that would come in and join the fellowship, and they would be like, oh, I don't see any evidence of the Spirit, because people didn't raise their hands or didn't, do certain things, shout out hallelujah or different things like that, and they weren't Spirit filled, so that's very, it seems like you almost had to put that on,
Right.
So I can see it being the same way in the Pentecostal churches, that you would feel like you had to do that, or they would assume you didn't have the Spirit.
That's right.
Something was going on with you. Let's examine that person's life and
It's
see
like a
what's
peer
going on.
pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever spoken tongues, Kimberly? Yeah. Oh, girl, please.
I was slain in the spirit.
Really?
I told you I once hacked up a demon into a
You
paper
did.
bag.
That you did. She did tell me that. She did
I
tell me
did.
that. Tell us about
Well,
this.
they
This
told me
is
that I
fun.
did. Well, no, Monica is absolutely right. There's a lot of peer pressure, and I was a teenager when we were going to a full gospel church, and what? And we, my friends were all spirit filled, and there's a lot of feeling like if you don't do what's going on, you're not going to be accepted. So yeah, I would assume it's exactly like Monica experienced in the Baptist church, where you want to be, especially a teenager,
Yeah.
you want to be accepted by your peers. So if they're doing it, you're doing it.
And we're talking about speaking in tongues now.
Yes, not the hacking up the demons.
Yeah, that was a little.
I can't remember why I had to hack up a demon.
Or you were just so out there,
I don't-
acting up so bad.
I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Knew
Maybe
you
that's
had
when
to
I
have
was
a
wearing the
demon in
mini
you.
skirts.
Is
or
that's
something.
what happened?
That's probably what I'm
That
trying
was
to
the
remember.
demon. You had that
That
demonic
was-
miniskirt demon. Ruthie, what about you? You ever wear miniskirts?
Nope.
You
Girl,
ever hack up a
please.
demon in a paper bag?
You ever hacked up a demon in a paper bag?
Nope.
Did you ever hack up a demon? Didn't have to be in a paper bag.
If I had one, it's still there. I didn't get rid of it yet.
We need to have
I'll
our
have
hands
to
on
check
it,
and see
right?
if it's still there.
Have you ever spoken in unknown tongues?
Nope. I
tried,
can't
it
speak
didn't sound real good.
any unknown language. Barely speak English.
Well, we all believe that it's, because if you think about it this way, only these certain denominations do it. And if God, is
They're the
present
right one.
everywhere,
They've got to be.
girl, please. And we're all sitting in a Baptist church, why isn't the Holy Spirit in a Baptist church? If you're,
Only
if you
raise
believe
your
all this,
hands and say hallelujah about 6 times from service.
yeah, none of it makes sense. I mean, none of it makes sense. But if somebody tells me that, they have this certain experience with God, I'm not going to poo-poo their experience, because, I can tell you many, many times that, and I don't give one flat iota who tells me what to what, I don't care. I know I've had experience with God himself. Okay, Jesus, whoever, what do you want to call him? So when people start telling me that, even about your demonic hacking, I'm not gonna just say, even though I know that was not true, because you laugh.
Oh,
about
there was a time when I thought I had been delivered from something, and
Yeah.
thankfully that's no.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I laugh about it now.
Mini
But
skirt fad. I was delivered from the 80s high hair.
you still have blue eyeshadow,
No.
that bright blue.
Well, I do, but it's only because it came in
on the
in
right.
a thing I bought
No, I
for
mean
my
like
daughter
that
for her
80s
ballet
bright blue
recital.
that you put
But I
all
could put
over
it
your
on. Maybe
eyeball.
next week we ought to come 80s,
Yeah,
decked
that'd
out
be
80s
fine.
theme,
We'll try.
What
but
to?
throwback.
80s, Ruthie, it's gonna be fun. Okay.
Jelly bracelets.
Okay, we're gonna have to figure it out. We're gonna have to all talk about
Okay.
how to dress.
Okay, because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Although I was alive in the 80s, I can't remember what we
We're-
wore.
Well, I won't be able to do
skirts,
my hair
okay.
quite the same since I got it cut off. So
Yeah.
I think I can poof mine up.
I could still
Yeah,
poof it up. I'm
you
sure I
could.
could still
Get
get
some
that.
hairspray.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it. We're gonna do 80s throwback next week, and just show you how crazy we really are. Well, it's storming here, and I need to make a run for the border, so we're twisting off. And just
She's not
bye.
headed to Taco Bell. We've already had lunch.
Shut her down. I'm afraid of lightning. I got to go.